Hello, vinyl community. The music goes round and round. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It comes out there. From bluegrass and roots to jazz piano. I had to jump on this. I was ready to kind of shut it down for the night, and I saw both Rob's Sound Strange piano solo thread, kind of Show Me 10. Not a contest, but just an ongoing sharing experience. And his was some classical music. And I have a couple of classical pieces, but I'm not showing classical. Sorry, because I don't really have enough solo. I think I have it piano in other works, and I don't know anywhere near what Rob knows. And I can't pronounce all those kind of wonderful European foreign language names. So I'm not going to go there. And then Julius Jabber just did one on mostly jazz piano, actually all jazz piano. So I'm going to do one. It's about 10. I can't count, so you can count. And there's a couple of artists I'm showing several albums, so it goes beyond 10, but you get the idea. And in no particular order, as usual, I'm going to start with the great, wonderful, and this is an essential album. Essential is thrown around here so much, but jazz solo piano album, Art Tatum. Jazzy, ragtime a little bit, but just great album. This is a Columbia 70s issue on this. And then I have this from the 70s that I got, the older, more experienced maybe. This is on Pablo Records, and this is like 26 sides. So how many records is that? Divide that by 2. What do you get? 13 record set I got from Pablo. Actually, a distributor gave this to me when I worked in record stores. I don't know if I ever listened to the whole thing, but it's fabulous. Art Tatum solo masterpieces, 13 LPs. I'm thinking this is 75, 76, distributed by RCA Records, 1975, produced by Norman Granz, Pablo. The elder statesman Art Tatum, but fabulous collection. I've heard probably more than half, but maybe not more than that, and I really should pull it out. But the fabulous Art Tatum. And then we got Bill Evans. Now this is the later Bill Evans solo, because I realized the other albums that I wanted to pull out are not solo. I think I'm cheating once or twice here, but I really wanted to stick to the solo piano. And most of them are trios and beyond, as you can imagine, especially with Bill Evans. Although he did do some great solo records too. But this is a later record from 1977. His longtime producer-manager, Helen Keane, produced it. Fantasy Records. Bill Evans, Alone Again. Something about stride pianos and everything. Stride piano, and probably you really can't talk about that kind of piano playing without talking about Fats Waller. Your feet's too big, Fats Waller. I have about 4 or 5 Fats Waller records, but this is the only, I think, complete solo record I have of his that really covers the old Bluebird records that was later distributed by RCA. But the RCA Bluebird, these were recorded in the late 20s and through the late 30s. The Bluebird solo, 1929 to 1941. It's right there. Read the cover, Mazzy. But the great Fats Waller. You need some Fats Waller in your collection of the king of the stride piano. A piano style that I'm not gonna, some of you jazz freaks can kind of really describe all that piano playing. I know it when I hear it, but I can't describe it. Okay, then I'm throwing this in because, as Julius said, and probably the most famous solo piano record, the biggest selling jazz solo piano record ever, is Keith Jarrett, Cologne Concert, depending on how you want to, a double album live with Keith Jarrett moaning. You hear his moaning throughout it. I did see him. This came out in 75, and I probably saw him around 77, 78 at the Zellerbach Auditorium in Berkeley. And I said this in another video because I think I showed this in another video. He sort of lectured the audience halfway through, saying, not lectured us, but kind of like said, because we applauded and he got a great ovation, and he says, it's about time some people like real music. And the way he said it was a snarky, I mean, I'm snarky, so I should know, it takes one to know one, but more of an insulting insinuation against rock and roll and pop music in general. But come on, he played the Fillmore with Miles, so there you go. But I like Keith Jarrett. I don't have a lot of his records anymore. I used to have a bunch. I used to buy all his ECM records, and when I did my 90s purge, unfortunately, I got rid of a lot of them. The Bear something, or the Blue Box, I remember I used to have. All his ECM records I used to pick up. And while we're on the ECM thing, these are two German ECM records that I have on, and it's a great kind of collection. I mean, they're separate records, but it's Chick Corea piano improvisations. These are really nice. There's a really good feel to this, and I love Chick Corea. I like his Latin flavored Return of Forever stuff, and I liked his fusion, but I really liked his like Spanish. Not Spanish, Harlem. Oh God, do I have to look here? Spanish? You don't care. This is not about that anyway now. But two good records. The Mazzy flip back of Chick Corea solo piano on the ECM label. Improvised. Turn the tape. Let the tape. Come on, Manfred Eicher. Turn the tape and let Chick do his thing. Now more on the schmaltzy side, and oh, I just thought of another one too. I don't have it, but Errol Garner. Errol Garner, this actually has some bass and drums on some of it, also some solos, so it's not a complete solo. I said I cheat a little bit. But another great record, which I don't have on vinyl, I do have a great CD, is the one he did by the sea, Concerts by the Sea, that were taken in Monterey, down past Carmel, before Carmel actually, down in that area. Great album, the 60s. Kind of not great recording, but great performances. And I think someone just happened to be taping it and turned it into a record. But this is Gone Garner Gonest on Columbia. Do I have to show this? Do you want to see it? It is a 6i. Wasn't going to show labels here because it doesn't really matter in this particular case. It's just about the music more than anything else. Errol Garner was one that did a lot of standards, so he's considered a little more, I hate to say middle of the road. He's very talented, sold a lot of records, but not one of the more intricate jazz piano players. Got a little more of the pop standards, but hey, Errol Garner. Another one that crosses over that I liked and I actually saw live in the 70s was Oscar Peterson. Now, I don't have an Oscar Peterson solo album. I have about 5 Oscar Peterson records. This is close. It's Oscar Peterson with Joe Pass, great guitar player on Pablo Records again. This was probably recorded also in the early 70s, 1976, so mid 70s, in Los Angeles. And it's Joe Pass and Oscar Peterson on clavichord. So there you go. But great piano player. I kind of want to show you all these other things, but he does. These are Gershwin songs. Porgy and Bess. So if you know Porgy and Bess, you know this music. But it's a great record, nicely recorded too. Produced by Norman Granz again. Norman Granz was the founder of Verve Records, if you don't know that. One of my favorite piano players, and who sort of has a really interesting kind of, again, I don't know how to describe piano playing, but it's Earl Hines, or they used to refer to him as Earl Father Hines. I have a bunch of his things. This is the only solo piano. Used to wear the nice rug in a way. But this is, let's see, what label is this on? I don't even need to Earl Hines. Great cover, right? Anyway, I got turned on to Earl Hines around 74 because of not chicken skin music, Paradise and Lunch, the Ry Cooder album, because the piano playing at the last song on the album is Diddy Wah Diddy, and it's a duet with Ry Cooder on guitar, acoustic guitar, and Earl Hines on piano. So it's a really kind of a jazzy, bluesy kind of really beautiful version, and I fell in love with that. And then about around the same time, I got the opportunity when I was at San Francisco State College. I was doing recording and broadcast communications. I did a live field recording in Marin County of Earl Hines live. So I got to meet him, and we broadcast his show through KQED, which is the PBS affiliate in San Francisco. So great gentleman, great piano player. I was so in awe of his musicality, his piano playing, and just his generosity. I was 20, something like that, 21, if that. But Earl Hines, great solo piano. Here's one that most of you don't know about. Her name is Myra Melford. She lives in the Bay Area in Berkeley, out of San Francisco. She's also teaches. This is a really wonderful record, and I got into her. This is a solo record, by the way. As you can see, it says Myra Melford solo piano. This is from 2017. This is the later album, which is a trio, or actually 4 musicians. Myra got a drummer, bass, guitar, and cornet. And this is really interesting. This is the one that I got turned on to on the VC by several people early on when I first was onto this, and I went to buy it. It's called Myra Melford's Snowy Egret, and it's not solo. This is a solo one, but I just got to show this because if you want something really kind of modern but really intricate in a accessible way, this is gorgeous. This is really gorgeous, and you can buy these through her Bandcamp site. This is called The Other Side of Air. The Other Side of Air. Oh, Snowy Egret is sort of the name of her quartet in this case. I don't know if she's done anything since. This is 2018, so it's one of my favorite albums of last year. Really beautiful record. But this is the solo piano record, and I recommend the other one, the non-solo one first, but they're both really good. I'm going to show this okay, this is a quintet and orchestra, so it doesn't really count here, but I was looking through my piano artists. George Shearing, blind piano player, very commercial, very pop. And the only reason I'm showing this, there is a full orchestra here, I believe, on this one. Yeah, orchestra conducted by the great Billy May. But white satin. Because, if you watch my channel, I love when there's a Beatle connection. Well, the reason I got this record, because if you've ever seen the film Hard Day's Night, the Beatles movie, when they're in their hotel room and they're getting all the fan mail and they're supposed to answer the fan mail, and I forgot if it's Paul McCartney or George Harrison or Ringo Starr or one of the Beatles is holding a record in that hotel room, and this is the record. It might even be one of their managers. Or the grandfather. It's someone in the friggin' movie. I didn't want to say the F word because then I got to say this is not for kids on the new thing here. But anyway, white satin, Capitol Records. I just throw it because of the Beatle connection. Great piano player. Not my cup of tea, really. I don't listen to this stuff very much. It's a little schmaltzy, but and I love redheads. Hey. Oh, Mazzy, grow up. Okay, lastly, I'm going to end up with the great Felonious Monk and their Solo Monk, which is a fabulous, fabulous album. This one, when was this one recorded? 1965 it came out. And then the other one that came out, I believe, let's see, in I don't know. This is a Japanese pressing. 1959 it was recorded. And this is recorded in North Beach in San Francisco in a venue called the Club Fugazi. Any of you who visit San Francisco, have you ever heard of the musical that's been on for something like 30 plus years now, that's ending Beach Blanket Babylon? Well, that's in Club Fugazi. That's where that theater is. This is recorded there. not with an audience though. He just used it as for a recording, and it's got a great sound. And of course, anything with a cable car and San Francisco related, Mazzy's right there for. Anyway, solo piano, and thanks Rob and thanks Julius for kind of pushing this forward. And you know, I was thinking about other piano players like in the pop or the rock world, and I don't know any with, the only person that I know that's solo piano that I featured or I showed recently was Nicky Hopkins, but even his record is not a solo piano record. I don't know if there are any. And of course I'm not going to show Billy fucking Joel up. No, not for kids. This is, I need to put my warning at the very beginning of this video now. So anyway, Mazzy loves you, solo piano. Take care, VC. Good night.